Good morning, friends. Myself Abhinav Ankulge, and I am a third year MBBS student. So we are going to discuss about anatomical features of humerus and its attachment. So it's humerus. Humerus is a bone of arm, and basically, mota, if you observe, it has the upper end, shaft, and the lower end. Upper end is rounded. If you observe, upper end of humerus is rounded, lower end is flattened. So if you observe about upper end contains, before discussing about that, we should discuss about its side determination. So which side of humerus is this, either left or either right? How can you determine it? So first of all, you should see this is the head of humerus, which articulates with the glandular cavity, and it should face laterally. It should face laterally upwards and backwards like this. So it should face laterally, and either of right side or left side, because it can be lateral like this as well. So this or this. So if you want to correct or if you want to check, this is called as lesser tubercle, and this is called as greater tubercle. Always remember, lesser tubercle, which is small in size, should face anteriorly. So this should be anterior. And okay, so if it is anterior, then this is the humerus. My mistake, the head of humerus should face lateral, medially, and the lesser tubercle should face anteriorly. So this should be the humerus of left arm. So humerus of left arm. Okay, now after discussing side determination, what are the features of uh, upper end, lower end, and shaft? So upper end, what it contains is the head. So if you observe, this is the head of humerus. This is the head of humerus, and then there are two tubercles. This is the lesser tubercle, and this is the greater tubercle. Okay, so this is the lesser tubercle, greater tubercle. Between them, there is a groove that is called as bicipital groove, like this, and it is also called as intertubercular sulcus. I will shortly write as intertubercular sulcus. It is also called as bicipital groove. It contains a lateral lip, and it contains a medial lip. Okay, then there is a nutrient foramen, and this is called as deltoid tuberosity, which is present laterally. So deltoid tuberosity, this is of the anterior view, and this is the posterior view. And if you observe, this side for this image is lateral and this is medial. And if it is medial, okay, so then shaft, then deltoid tuberosity. On the posterior aspect, there is a groove called as radial groove. Beneath the deltoid tuberosity, there is called as radial groove. Above the deltoid tuberosity, and there is a oblique ridge as well. Oblique ridge. Okay. After that, on the lower surface, lower part, you can see a ridge on the lower part because it is flattened. On its medial side, it is called as medial supracondylar ridge. And on lateral side, similarly, lateral supracondylar ridge. Medial supracondylar ridge, lateral supracondylar ridge. On its lower end, it contains an articular surface. This is capitulum, which is round. So on its lateral surface, it contains small capitulum, and on its lateral side, it contains capitulum. On its medial side, it contains trochlea. And on its posterior side, there is a fossa called as olecranon fossa. Above the capitulum is a radial groove. Radial groove. Above trochlea is a trochlear fossa. Okay. So this is the basic features about humerus. Talking about its surfaces, humerus has three surface and three borders. What are its borders? So this is the lesser tubercle and the head should face medially. So this surface is called as anterior surface. Border. This border is called as anterior border. And the this surface which showing delta tuberosity here is called as lateral border. Lateral border ends with a lateral supracondylar ridge, but starts from where? If you trace it back, it starts from this the delta tuberosity, but middle border starts from the intertubercular sulcus, so bicipital groove, and ends at the medial supracondylar ridge here. Okay. And the surface, this surface from anterior and medial is called as anteromedial surface, and on its anterior and lateral border it called as anterolateral surface, and posteriorly is a posterior surface. So these are the all surfaces. Now talking about the attachments of humerus. Starting from the upper end of humerus, the upper end contains the lesser tubercle. So lesser tubercle attachments are supraspinal. Lesser tubercle attachment is subscapularis. Attachment of lesser tubercle is subscapularis. Okay. So the attachments of greater tubercle are three attachments on greater tubercle. First is the infraspinatus, the second one is supraspinatus, and the third one is the teres major. There are three attachments. On the bicipital groove there are three attachments. Again, on its lateral lip, pectoralis major, on its medial lip, teres major, here it's minors, and then on the floor of intertubercular sulcus, latissimus dorsi is attached, lat dorsi, and then on delta tuberosity, as name implies, deltoid muscle is inserted. I am here all talking about insertion. One more insertion is there. This is the anterior border. This is the anterior border. This is the medial border. And middle part of medial border here is attachment of a muscle called as coracobrachialis. Okay. Attachment of coracobrachialis. So these all are attachments. If you're talking about insertion are almost negligible on the upper aspect. The insertion are mostly in the lower parts, and these are the muscles of forearms mostly. So if you're talking about attachment, only one attachment is there on its middle or shaft section, that is triceps. You can clearly see this is the radial groove, this is the oblique ridge. So above, so this is the posterior surface. So if you see anteriorly, this is anterior. If you see, this is the posterior. Okay. So if it is anterior to the radial groove, the muscle attached here is the medial head of triceps. It is medial head of triceps below. And if it is above the what we call radial groove, above the radial groove, the muscle attached is the lateral head of triceps. सो रेडियल ग्रूवच्या अबोव lateral head, radial groove below is the medial head of triceps. This is the attachment. One more attachment in the anterolateral and anteromedial surface here on its lower aspects of the anteromedial anterolateral surface. This origin of brachialis muscle. Okay, brachialis muscle, which is below the biceps muscle, and then lesser. Now if you observe, this is the lateral part and this is the medial. So this is the lateral supracondylar ridge. On its upper upper 2/3, a muscle is attached called as brachioradialis. On its lower 1/3, that is called as extensor carpi radialis longus, and on the medial supracondylar ridge, its lower 1/3, there is a attachment of pronator teres muscle. Then on the medial epicondyle and lateral epicondyle. So on the medial epicondyle, lateral epicondyle. On medial epicondyle, on medial aspect, there is a common flexor origin. Flexor origin. On the lateral epicondyle, there is a common extensor origin. Okay, this is all about the attachments of humerus. Thank you.